as a startup, you
Uh-huh.
need to have those three. You need to fail fast so you can fix the problem fast. You need to have a lot of empathy, and you need to listen to your customer.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Jay Christ, and welcome to another episode of the Design Live Show. In episode 76 of TDLS, I sat down with the man himself, Roq Cleo. After 16 years of working in the corporate world, he is now doing what he loves, focusing on his own startup business called The New Agency. It's a design thinking training and consultancy here in the Philippines. In layman's terms, he is teaching people how to leverage creativity and innovations for today's world. Rock discovered the power of design thinking as a creative director, which helped him to build the structure for the creative team of the biggest retail company in the Philippines. In this episode, we talk about his design life stories from ground up, how he was able to start his own design thinking training and consultancy business from scratch, what has been his biggest challenge throughout his career and business, and how he was able to overcome it. How he was able to shift from being a corporate junkie to having an entrepreneurial mindset, and why being empathetic and being able to listen to your customer is the key to a successful venture. We also talk about some great and actionable tips for aspiring and seasoned startup entrepreneurs and innovators, especially here in the sunny Philippines, and much, much more. So make sure to stick around until the end. And I'm super, super sure that you'll love this episode because there's a lot of gems here in these conversations I did with Rock. So make sure to stick around. And if you haven't already, please subscribe on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, or in any of your favorite podcasting app. In that way, you are helping me to reach more people. Also, don't forget to leave a review. And if you love this episode, share it to your colleagues, to your teammates, or to anyone who loves to listen to this kind of podcast. Right? So I don't want to waste your time anymore. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode.
You're listening to the Design Life Show, a podcast that helping everyone grow to live a meaningful and creative life. It's me, Jay Christ, a designer from the Philippines, best known for being an advocate of essentialism and optimism. I'm sitting down with awesome people to talk about their journey, their process, and the lessons they've learned along the way.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Jay Christ, and welcome to another episode of the Design Live Show. And I'm super, super stoked actually because we are now in another episode. I think this is really a great episode with Rock, and I'm looking forward to talk with Rock for a few months now. And actually, I stumble Rock when I interview Roland Banyas, which is one of the guests also in this podcast. So Rock, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. How are you, man? Thank you so much for dropping by on the podcast.
AJ Christ, thank you so much for having me. It's in fact, it's an honor to be in your show. I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
Cool. Thank you, man. And yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
super stoked to have you on the show. For just to give context in this episode, and for those who are
Mhm.
listening, especially for those who don't know Rock Cleo, can you share a little bit about your background and what are you doing right now?
Sure. Hello again. My name is Roq Cleo. I have a 16 years background in working in a corporate. So my last job is a creative director of the SM Store. It's the biggest mall in the Philippines. I'm the creative director there.
Mm-hmm.
So I handle the 62 branches and nationwide and 32 departments. So everything's been done in our department. And I just jumped out of corporate last year, so technically, this is my first year being a solopreneur, running my own company, and what I'm doing right now. So I train, I help, and I facilitate design thinking and design sprint. So I train innovations and creatives to those companies and any organizations. and I help individuals, organizations, or any brands to make money through social media.
Wow, that's really cool. And yeah, yeah, man. And I think that's really, uh, I'm thinking a lot of questions right now. So basically, I'm writing it down actually. So for Rock,
Go
you've been
ahead.
in the industry for I think for a long time. Can you share what it's like
Mhm.
growing up, especially here in the Philippines? Right now, you're teaching designers or aspiring creatives or innovators with your
Mhm.
workshops.
Mhm.
Can you share a little bit about your journey growing up?
You know what? It's really difficult, no. Most especially we're in a developing country, and
Yeah.
in our generation where there's no YouTube at that time, so I have to understand graphic design in a very hard way. There's no YouTube, and the
Yeah.
internet before is limited, so I have to go to the library and ask a lot of questions to those technical guys who knows Photoshop, CorelDRAW. If you know CorelDRAW, I used to
Yeah.
use this, and freehand, bro. So I use
Uh-huh.
freehand before, and freehand I don't
Wow.
know if there's still freehand still if they're still alive. I don't know, but those are the programs that I'm using before. But you know what? The hardest part there is I don't have a formal education of graphic design.
Mhm.
So I'm a self-taught graphic designer.
Gotcha.
So the
So,
hard
uh-huh.
yeah, so the hardship there, understanding everything, is it's like getting inside in the hole of the needle. That's how difficult
Yeah.
it is.
It's like you're in the room that doesn't have lights, right? So it's really dark. Right. So when you're in that
Mm,
situation, what's your thinking back then when you're a self-taught designer? How do you overcome those? Most of the time, most creatives, especially aspiring creatives, has this
mhm.
self-doubt, or we call it as well imposter syndrome, right? If it makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're just
uh,
getting started and you're a self-taught designer.
uh-huh.
How do you what's your thinking back then?
My thinking back then, in fact, is to never give up. That's my if you know Naruto, that's my biggest influence.
Yeah.
The
I love
Naruto's
it.
ninja way is never give up. So I grew up watching that kind of anime and influences me a lot. So along the way, in fact, I almost give up on doing a graphic design and looking into venturing to another career like you know restaurant manager or call center. But I told myself, if I could stay another year doing graphic design and give a chance, let's decide when we cross the bridge. So after a couple of years, I found myself enjoying graphic design, and
Yeah.
all of those hurdles and pains, it's like part of my DNA. Um, what I'm trying to say here, it's like something like when you get rejected, when people you say and rejected your work, and some people say that you're not good enough on this design, it makes me more, you know, makes me more eager to learn. You
100%.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So my motivation is every time I every time that I get rejected, I become more eager to learn. And every time I get, every time people refuses my work, or I get this kind of feeling that I don't belong here, the more
Yeah.
reason I need to learn on this area. So my motivation is actually working on my weak part until I overcome that, and it my becomes my strength. So that's how I reflect on things, that and I develop something like motivating myself all the way up. And always I always telling myself, you have to have a lot of failures for you to become a good designer.
100%.
Eh,
Yeah, I
yes.
really agree with
So
that.
that's yeah. So that's what happened to me. In fact, I'm still experiencing failure. Even we reach the top of the peak of or the summit of your career to be creative director. For me,
Mhm.
failure is still is
It's
part of the
always a
equation
uphill battle,
equation
right?
of the
Yeah.
success. Yes, agree with you. So that's my experience.
Yeah, it's amazing, to it's really humble to listen to your story. And you've mentioned that you before venturing out into entrepreneurship or creative entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
you've been into corporate world, and which is I'm connecting with because
Hmm.
before doing this kind of things, right? So I've been in the
Yeah.
I actually started my career after ditching my job as a factory worker
Hmm.
because I don't have money to
Wow.
send myself to college. So I try to save up
Wow.
using that and then send myself to college. And after that, I try to
Hmm.
juggle work, side hustles. They call it side hustles now to be
Hmm.
more cool, right? But before
Hmm.
it's called part time, right? So it's a part time gig. So yeah,
Well, yeah, you're right.
yeah, sure. I'm wondering, when you're venturing out into entrepreneurship or creating workshop or teaching designer to be more innovative,
Hmm.
what's your thinking when you're trying to go out of your, let's say, comfort zone or
Hmm.
high paying job?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Being entrepreneur, it's not that easy. If you think, this is what I always say in every speaking engagement that I have. I told the student, if you think college is difficult, it's more difficult when you graduated college. If you're
100%.
working in a
Yeah.
corporate, and if you think working in a corporate is harder, it's way beyond your imagination how hard it is to run your own company, to become entrepreneur. So the
100%. Yeah.
preparation of being entrepreneur is not after you decide yesterday. It's not like that. You
Yeah.
decided to run a company, you
Uh-huh.
wake up the following day, you run your company. It's not like that. So the preparation to be an entrepreneur, it actually happened way back 5 years ago or 8 years ago. I don't know the year get started, but I started selling wash boy waterless car wash. It's really out of
Uh-huh.
my profession, of my career, but I
Mhm.
started selling car cleaning product, and
When do
it's
you
my
sell
own
that? I
formulation, by the way.
where do you sell that? Wow.
I
Uh-huh.
sell that in the malls. I
Ah,
sell that online. So
okay.
I'm practicing my salesmanship at that time. And
Gotcha.
then I have a lot of what you call no in the Philippines is called the racket. It's
Uh-huh.
moonlighting,
Yeah.
side gig, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So I need to earn extra income.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, I need to gain experience in doing entrepreneurship. And then I set my own timeline, and I said I need to run my own company at this particular age. So, but you know what? I created my own company a year before my timeline. So it's 1 year ahead. And in fact,
Gotcha.
that's last year. Yeah, this last year, 2018, I started my own company. And you know what? Again, it's good thing that you are well prepared. So when the time comes, if running your own company, you have a lot of motivation, perseverance, or what you call it in running is what you call it. You have a lot of air and motivation to move forward, to keep moving forward. Because in me, being entrepreneur is not working 9 to 5 anymore.
Yeah.
It's working 24/7.
100%. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
actually,
really
yeah.
different.
Uh-huh.
I thought my life's gonna be easier
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
entrepreneur, but it's it's me working 24/7. But
Mhm.
is the good part of that is, you know, all your hardships, your salary or your income based on how hard you how industrious you are. Okay, the amount of energy, effort, and focus, it depends on you. So if you put a little effort, you'll get a little result. But if you put a lot of effort, you'll get a bigger result, a lot of results. Unlike in a corporate, even if you put a small amount of effort, you'll get the same amount every 15th and 30th of the month. Even if you put a lot of energy, enthusiasm, all your life in a company, work in a corporate, what will you get is still the amount on your 50th and 30th. Yes, you're gonna
Yeah.
get rewarded,
Mhm.
but the exchange is just a certification paper that's saying you did a good job, but you can't eat that piece of paper.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Actually, that's really, that's I think that's a high level view of what we are trying to communicate with, especially for the listeners and for those who aspire to be an entrepreneur or
Agree.
creative in
Agree.
the long run. Because in
Mhm.
reality, those things that you see in the internet that's saying you'll have more time for your, for something else, but in real life you're working
Mhm.
your ass off, even though you're with your family, right? Or
Yeah.
even though if you even though you're doing
Yes.
something else.
Yes.
So that's the basically the high level view of that. And Rat, you mentioned that
In fact, that's the life of
mhm,
entrepreneur. It's
gotcha.
24/7.
100%, yeah. 100%, yeah. uh Rak, you mentioned that
Uh-huh.
you have a corporate job. How do you resign from that job? I think a lot of people, especially aspiring solopreneur or
Uh-huh.
entrepreneur right now, are really struggling to find answer with this one, because I think there's a lot of answers there, and I find it really bug in some way. Can you share your thinking? What are you thinking when you're trying to transition for into this uncertain world we are living right now? Yeah.
Well, it's not uncertain, no.
Yeah.
It's actually we're fortunate. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
so this is my reflection on jumping out of corporate. No one, if you the reason you need to ask yourself, what is the reason?
Hmm.
Why are you working in this company? So to gain experience and what? To earn money. All
Hmm.
right. So if you want to earn money, if you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, working 9 to 5 is really hard to earn 1 million. If you're gonna do the math, it's
100%.
not
Hmm.
gonna sum. You cannot create millions. So I decided to jump out of corporate because honestly, I don't want to be hypocrite here, and say I don't like money. Who doesn't like money?
Yeah. Hmm.
So 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 me, looking at that, I see my purpose, and of course, I need to create a lot of money. Why? For my family, of course, and the future of my kids. In fact, the reason why I jump off the corporate is and building this company is for the next generation of my family. I want to leave a legacy to give them a better life. So I am a sacrificial ship. You know that what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Putting up this company so the future of my kids are secured, and so they could continue at whatever they want and do whatever they want in their life. They're secured. So jumping out of corporate is how do I say it? Let's step back now. So it's a mindset. Before you jump out of corporate,
Uh-huh.
you need to have a very, very good mindset, a strong mindset. So jumping out of corporate, it shouldn't be a suicide. Okay, because
Uh-huh.
I heard a lot of um, people jump out of corporate and then after few months doing it alone or working out their company that they started, they ended up going back to corporate.
Getcha.
So my realization is not all entrepreneurship or being entrepreneur or being a businessman is for everyone.
Mhm.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of time while you were in your office to do side jobs, to do sidelines, to do some rackets, to do moonlighting, just to test if you have this DNA in entrepreneurship. If you feel that
Mhm.
you are more confident into entrepreneurship, and that's the moment you jump out of it. So before you jump, make sure you have a mothership. So you're jumping not a suicidal jump. So it's like a jumping with the flying colors, with the fireworks in it, and the parachute, and you landed very beautifully.
Yeah.
So you need to have a mothership
Yeah.
when you jump out of corporate. So you
Uh-huh.
won't beg for money, or
Yeah.
at least you have, you know,
Yeah, a safe
you have
zone.
a
Yeah.
lot of buffer.
Mhm.
Yeah, safe zone, safe zone.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of buffer. So even
Yeah.
if you don't get any projects for this particular month, and the following month, you still survive in your
Yeah.
lifestyle. So that's what
Yes.
I
Mhm.
did. That's what I did, and in fact, I tested my entrepreneurship way back um, 8 years ago before I started this, and in fact, my teaching, I trained myself also while I'm inside the corporate, and my public speaking also, I trained myself while I'm inside the corporate. So I created a lot of creative workshops series while I'm in SM at that time. So I think I was able to create creative workshop series 9. And the pilot speaker there is none other than Master Dan Matutina.
Wow.
I'm the number one
Yeah.
fan of Master.
He is
So
one of the guests as well here in this podcast. So yeah, I'm a
yeah,
fan as
yeah,
well.
I
Yeah,
listened to it.
for sure.
Amazing interview. So uh he is my pilot speaker, and there I practice my public speaking there. So um there's one executive approached me in my table, and he says, "Hi, Sir Cleo, that's my name in the office. Hey, Sir Cleo, how come you have time to do speaking engagement and to do some jobs,
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
think you're the most busiest person that I know in SM?" And I told him, you know what? It's okay. I'm telling you the reason why I'm doing this. I'm preparing. I'm preparing for my future. And it was like, whoa, that's a
Wow.
strong words.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am preparing for my future. So you know what I'm trying to say here, all of your hardships, all of what you're doing in your office is just a preparation for your real company. So you have to endure dealing with costs cross department, other departments. You have to endure, dealing with everyday editings, everyday revisions, going to the office every day, because it's just a part of your work if you run your own company. Could you imagine working in a
Mm.
company, you're working in a particular department, right? So for
Yeah.
example,
Hmm.
you're a creative, you are a graphic artist. So you're working closely with marketing. So you only know marketing. But running business or being entrepreneur, you have to know, of course, marketing. You have to know advertising. You have to know sales. You have to know
Uh-huh.
finance. You have to know back end. You have to know this and that. There's so much thing you need to understand.
100%. Yeah.
so really need to have a strong mindset before you get out of your comfort
Yeah, I think that's really valuable for anyone who listen to this, and
zone.
for I think entrepreneurship is not really for everyone. You need discipline, right? You need the right
Hmm.
mindset, like what Rock
Agree.
said. And if you're not disciplined enough, you'll maybe
Hmm.
you can't gain more or from this life or from this fortunate world, because you need
Uh-huh.
to really have that grit as well and internal motivations,
Yeah.
because nobody
Mm-hmm.
would care enough for you unless you care enough for yourself. So I think that's one of the
Agree.
greatest lessons that I've learned throughout this journey. And you really said it well,
Agree.
man. That's you really said it better than mine. So that's really cool. And yeah, man, you've mentioned that you're doing workshop or sprint and design thinking workshop. Can you share a little bit about that for those who might heard it before but don't, or for those who don't have any idea about it? Can you share a little bit about design thinking and sprint for anyone who might be interested?
Sure. Design thinking is actually pretty new in the Philippines. So I took up design thinking course at NUS. NUS is National
Mhm.
University of Singapore. So design thinking is art of problem solving and creating clear decisions. Um, it's not only for creatives, designers, or graphic designers. It's actually for any business aspects. It could use for marketing campaigns, advertising plans. It's Google Ventures is using this. Lego, McKin, McKinsey, Baker McKinsey, and Nike, Coke. All the design-led companies are using design thinking. So much to say, most of the first world countries using this. That's why I'm bringing this design thinking in the Philippines, so we could innovate and we could keep up. We could keep up with the competition. Um, I have an advocacy. The reason why I'm aggressively promoting design thinking in the Philippines, because we are already left behind. Chinese,
100%.
you know
Yeah.
what? They used to be, they used to be a poor country. Now we are 30 years, in my opinion, okay, don't quote me on this. In my
Uh-huh.
opinion, we are 30 years behind of China. Have you been to China? It's
Not yet.
more
Yeah.
high
Hmm.
tech than it's more high tech
Wow.
than Silicon
Yeah.
Valley.
Oh man.
Singapore, and we are, let us say, 5 years, 10 years behind of Malaysia. Vietnam is overtaking us. We are still sitting in our comfort zone. So what I'm trying to say here, why Filipinos excels in other countries and why Filipinos inside the Philippines don't excel. The
100%.
only
Yeah.
thing that
Hmm.
I see there, it's because we don't have this kind of process. We don't have this kind of tool. If we have this kind of tool, design thinking, this is what I'm always saying to my talk. If we know design thinking tool, we can solve all your big problems really fast. So here's the thing. In design thinking, if you are solving problem, sometimes it's gonna take you how many months to solve it? Big problems, 1 month, 3 months. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
you're taking 6 months or 1 year to solve one problem. But in design thinking, we can solve that in just 1 day to 4 days. How good is that? So,
Yeah. Hmm.
to give an example, I have a client. They have a problem. They're having a problem of launching their website, and I told them, "How long you've been thinking about this project?" "Oh, Rock, it's so funny, they told me,
Uh-huh.
we don't want to share to you, but it's actually 2 years now. Hey, 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 hey." And I was like, "What? 2 years
Yeah.
already?" Yes.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Hmm.
I don't want to waste your time. And before this workshop ends, we will have your website right here, right now. And they were like, uh, where is that real? So I told them, okay, let's
Yeah.
move on, let's move forward. So after the workshop, and they were like, wow, Rack, this is amazing. We've been thinking what will be the content of the website, who will do the website, how the website UX and UI is gonna go, and just for one day we did a website, and I was like, yes, that's how easy it is if you have this kind of process. And that's the reason, my friend, I'm teaching design thinking to all Filipinos out there and Southeast Asia. In fact, my mission is, and for all people who are listening here, can I plug in?
Sure, sure, sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, my mission is to train 1 million individuals known to be profitable by using design thinking methodology by year 2030.
Yeah.
That is my
Mhm.
mission.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, that's really cool. And we need more guy like you here in the Philippines. And those who love to help
Thank
others,
you. Thank you.
especially sharing their skills and knowledge. And I think
Mhm.
we don't have enough enthusiasm in that part as well, because some we know that
Agree.
we have a lot of problems here in the Philippines, but um
Agree.
the
Agree.
one of the way is to or solving that problem is design thinking or sprint, which is you can
Yes.
solve real world problem, not just a problem of
Agree.
yourself, right? Not just a problem of your neighbor or your company, right? So it's
Agree.
really, it's really connecting with the dots in or creating impact as well when in your
Hmm.
surroundings or community. And that's really one of the great insights from you, Rock. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
Of
you,
course.
yeah,
Of course.
with regards to we talk about sprint and design thinking. You also mentioned offline about teaching others on social media, right? So how do you
Oh
teach others?
yeah.
And can you
Mhm.
share a little background with that? What's the why behind that? And maybe guide some
Mhm.
interested out there or interested individuals who are listening.
Hello.
Hello, Rock.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah,
There.
yeah,
Okay.
gotcha.
Yeah. So in fact, we're teaching individuals and organizations to make more money in social media. So
Yeah,
what we're doing there is also applied design thinking. That's the reason why I. That's the reason why. In fact, that's our value
gotcha.
proposition. That you can get more engagements, you can get more followers if you use this design thinking methodology and apply it in your social media advertising. So here's the reason why. The reason why I'm pushing design thinking and using it in all business aspects, especially for the social media, because all people are stuck in social media in their mobile phones. And
100%.
Filipino is number one user of that. And in design thinking, empathy is the cornerstone. So if you have an empathy to your customer, where you will be able to connect with your customer thoroughly, straightforward, and
Uh-huh.
it feels like the customer or the audience feels like, man, this person's talking to me. He's answering all my calls. He's
Yeah.
answering all my texts. He's answering my questions. And his post is exactly right just for me. So with applied design thinking, you understand because there's a tool there called empathy mapping. So using that and applying in social media, using the empathy mapping, you understand the behavior, the psychographics, and the demographics of your of your customer, of your audience. Um, this is
Uh-huh.
aside from the analytics, no, from the analytics that you get from Facebook, IG, or YouTube, or whatever social media that you're using. This is aside from there. This is additional. It's like you know what? It's like the what's that? What do I call it? This is something like we call it an oil. It's like a lubricant
Uh-huh.
in all of your social media advertising. So we teach them, because what I believe, based on my observation, the future is in the social media. We all know that, but
Uh-huh.
creating followers and gathering people with like-minded and to form a community is the future. So
Gotcha.
building of the community is the future. Here's the reason why. I give an example. One of my client, she says, Rock, you know what? You're right about social media community, because I joined in a community where just 700 members there, and all of the members are the elites of the altas here in Manila. And every persons there are cooking. They love cooking, they love eating, they love spending, they are altas. So she told me that one member, selling what she cook, and in just a snap of your hand, it's sold out.
Wow. Mhm.
So you know what? That's the power of the community. So like in the I'm an admin of Graphic Artists Philippines too. So
Gotcha.
in like
Mhm.
the Graphic Artists Philippines, if you post something there and if you sell something there in the community with these like-minded people, most probably these people will gonna buy what you are offering. That's
Uh-huh.
why it's becoming a hit. I made some strategy planning for another community, Facebook community. It's all about freelancing for moms. So I help them, build their marketing strategy or business plan.
Uh-huh.
I told them that these people, if you offer them, they will buy, because these people are really like-minded people. So whatever you guys think, 100%, or let us say 90%, they like it too. And they say,
Mhm.
you know what, Rock, you're right. Have you visited our site? No, I don't know your site. I don't know. But
Yeah.
but I believe the reason why people join your community, because these are like-minded. So it's an easy target. You just sell them
Yeah.
everything, they will buy it. So, and they were like, you know what, Rock, you're really right. We printed 1,000 t-shirts, and they say, there's no more t-shirts, we want more. Then they
Boom.
printed
Yeah.
out 5,000 t-shirts, and it's all gone. And they were like, Rock, can we do 10,000? I don't know, don't ask me. But I think if you sold out 5,000 pieces, most probably there's a high chance that you can sell 10,000 pieces. How many members do you have? We have 60K. Oh my gosh, you can finish all of
Oh,
that.
wow.
You can sell like
It's really cool.
it's you can sell that like a pancakes.
Uh-huh.
That's what I told. So that's the reason why we're helping individuals and organizations to build their social media, to create a following, and get all the like-minded to form a community.
Yeah, that really makes sense, and especially for those aspiring, entrepreneurs. Actually, you need to
Hmm.
have a raving audience on if you want to sell something right now. And with
Agree.
regards to that,
Hmm.
strategies rack, we know that there's email
Yes.
marketing, right? There is
Hmm.
what you call push notification marketing or something.
Hmm.
All of these marketing strategies, can you similarly uh, apply those fundamentals into these uh, strategies that
Hmm.
you've mentioned with regards to community, or there's a different approach?
You know what? For me, it's necessary.
Mhm.
Okay, email marketing is I think it's not yet that popular yet in the Philippines. So there's
Uh-huh.
a lot of opportunity for email marketing, and there's a there's a something unique feels that they are privileged to receive an email. For example, I received email from J Christ, So
Mm-hmm.
once I received it, there's something feels like, wow, this person emails me. You know, you feel importance. So email marketing is still part of the plan. So it goes something like left hook and right hook. So if you
Gotcha.
don't hit your people if you don't hit your market in your community, you still need this another part of your artillery. If you're in a guerrilla war, you know, it's part of your artillery to not to include the email. So emails is still necessary. But let me clarify the difference between email marketing, because I've always hearing that everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
Mm-hmm.
of email marketing, social media marketing. But you know what? The truth is, it's email advertising, and it's a
Uh-huh.
social media advertising, because you're making noise. You're
Gotcha.
attracting people to buy your product. It's called advertising.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. I feel that I left behind, and I just I just know it from you. And with regards,
Yeah.
with regards to these strategies, it is should when creating community, do they need to know their personality first, or what kind of business they want to be into, or what kind of community they want to build? Do you have any insights about that?
You know what? In building community, if you want an authentic audience inside your community, I suggest don't boost it, because
Mm,
if you boost it, you will include 50% of trolls in your community. So
mhm,
as much as possible, do it organically, because if you do it organically, these people with their own, without hard selling it, they will click, they will join, they will participate, they will post, and they will buy your product. That's the difference between these two. So I think that's my answer to your question.
yeah, I got you. And that's really, I think that's
Uh,
really practical advice, especially for those who don't know what to do.
yeah.
Right? It's really, you
Yes.
can start now by applying what Rock said
Mm-hmm.
here in this episode. And I'm really excited with those people who really try it out,
Mm-hmm.
and just gain more experiences as well with regards to this kind of tools. And it's booming here in the
Mm-hmm.
it's I think it's really the money, or if you dig well, you can find
Mm-hmm.
money in the social platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, right? So
Agree.
Instagram, there's a lot of opportunities
Agree.
there. But the problem is
Mm-hmm.
there's some people are not find it. Some people want it quick, right? Quick result,
Yeah.
something like that. They
Mm-hmm.
want it overnight success. But in reality, like what Rock said,
Mm-hmm.
it needs a lot of hard work, and you need to work 24/7 with your
Seven.
with your thing, right? So but
Yeah.
you still need to sleep, guys. Don't listen to me. All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
Rock, before we wrap up the show, and I'm pretty much
Mm-hmm.
having fun with our conversation, just to you
Thank
know
you. Thank you, J Christ.
give our listeners, especially TDLS listeners, the best practical advice. If you're just getting started, or you don't know what to do next, what's your best
Mm-hmm.
practical advice for those who are just getting started?
Okay. For those who are getting started, my piece of advice is for you to fail. That's it. Fail.
Hmm.
Fail as much as many failures that you can absorb. Here's the reason why. If you fail fast, you can fix the problem fast. So that's the secret of how to move forward. And don't look into competition, because if you keep on looking the competition, if you're always tailing them, following their tails, if this competition doesn't innovate, you will be dead also. You will not innovate also. So another piece of advice is to look into your customer. You have to understand their behavior. You need to have a lot of empathy. Again,
Mm-hmm.
empathy. So you need to have a lot of that. Understand your customer. Why I keep on saying understand your customer? Customer gives us business. Your product and services is nothing without a customer. So your customer is really important. So you have to understand them and tailor fit all your social media platform advertisements, all your communications, materials to the right person using empathy. So those three, okay, just those three for now. Okay, there's a lot of advices that I need to discuss,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
but I think as a startup, you
Uh-huh.
need to have those three. You need to fail fast so you can fix the problem fast. You need to have a lot of empathy, and you need to listen to your customer. That's it.
Yeah, the secret sauce is empathy, right? So empathize with your prospect
Agree.
clients, right? That's really really cool, Rock. And thank you so much for sharing that. Really
Hmm.
really valuable insights, especially for TDLS audience. And I just want to add by the
Thank you
way,
so much.
yeah, with regards to experimenting and failing past, I think about this way. When you're
Hmm.
operating, let's say you're a jet fighter or a crane operator, when you fail one once, you will die on that on that particular job, right? But
Yeah.
in
Yes.
digital space, if you try and try and try, you won't die, or right? So you can get up again and try another thing. So why not start and get things right in the, don't think that
Hmm.
you can get things right in the first speech. So that's
Hmm.
pretty, I think that's
Hmm.
pretty awesome as well to highlights like what Rox said. So again, man, thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing all the insights, especially your ground
Uh-huh.
up stories. And I really, really find it valuable and powerful, empowering as
Mm.
well, for especially for Filipino
Yeah.
creatives and entrepreneurs.
Mm.
And for those who might really interested with your workshop,
Mhm.
or if they want to learn more about you, or if they want to ask questions, what are the best links
Yes.
that they can reach out to you?
Yeah. They can follow me on my Facebook account at Roq Cleo, and I have same also in my IG. It's Roq Cleo, and my LinkedIn is still a Roq Cleo. So I'm always online, pretty much online. Don't text me. I won't give you my mobile number. I seldom I seldom use that.
Yeah.
I'm mostly online. So yeah, just reach out. In fact, I'm giving free career and mentoring coach right now. It's all free. It's all free, and because it's just one of my the way and how to give back all the blessings that I have
Mhm.
is to give them a free mentoring session.
Get you. So for those who are listening, at Rockly, all right. So, uh, and once again, for those who are listening, if you want to know more about Rock, so you can go scroll down on our show notes below. I will surely put all the links that we've mentioned here, especially the widgets of Rock Cleo are really
Yeah.
really great guests right now. So if you're also if you are listening to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, it's the podcast is also available on Spotify and SoundCloud. So you can just scroll down and you will surely find all the links that we've mentioned. And you can also go to the designlifeshow.com. That's the designlifeshow.com to get all the great episode like this one for free. So once again, man, thank you so much for
Yeah.
dropping by on the podcast. I really, really appreciate and super grateful to have you on the show.
I'm at the honor is always mine. Thank you, J. Christ. God
Thank you,
bless
man.
you.
Yeah,
God bless
thank you.
everyone
Yeah.
who's listening here. God bless you all.
Thanks,
Thank you so
guys.
much. Thank you so much. Until next time, bro. Until next time.
Sure. Thank you, Roq. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening, especially for all the supporters who contribute monetarily. And I just want to let you know that it really means the world to me. With that being said, there are a ton of people asking me on how to support this podcast. So here's how. Number one is you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts. So in that way, you can help me to reach more people and make the podcast more discoverable within the ecosystem. Second one is you can take a screenshot of this podcast and share to your friends, colleagues, or to anyone that might be interested in this kind of content. Third one is you can support the podcast monetarily by visiting jcristeves.com/donate. That's jcristeves.com/donate or patreon.com/TDLS. And the last one is by listening to all the podcast episode. However, if you support my message, that's more than enough and it means the world to me. So thank you so much.